Hello, everyone. I would like to welcome you to the 251st Meet the Artist program. GDC is envisioned as a unique art center that aims to preserve and exhibits its large collection of folk, tribal, traditional, and contemporary art, all under one roof. It is currently under construction in Bhubaneswar, Odisha. Meet the Artist is a permanent program of JD Center of Art, where invited artists like Sri Amit Ambalal ji here, craftspersons or scholars share their work, experiences, and insights through an illustrated talk. Since 2001, 250 such Meet the Artist lectures have taken place on the second Saturday of every month. Currently, our sessions are being held online in collaboration with the India International Center, New Delhi. We are happy to have them as partners, and it's exciting because we're able to reach a whole vast ocean of people who are interested in the arts. We're delighted to have Mr. Amit Ambalal, artist and author, as our guest for the 251st Meet the Artist, and he will speak on Krishna Srinathji, paintings from Nathadwara. Amit Ambalal. Amit Ambalal is an artist and a collector. Mingling reality and mythology, his paintings are populated by a multiplicity of characters. His wit and insight often draw upon Indian traditional art, miniature paintings, amongst other inspirations. A part of the work is inspired by the historical Nathadwara devotional paintings of Rajasthan. From the 70s, he began collecting the Pichwais that depict Krishna as Srinathji in the Nathadwara style. The Pichwais in the collection are from the mid-18th century to later ones that combine photography and painting. He is also the author of Krishna as Srinathji. Amit Ambalal works and lives in Ahmedabad. And before I start and give it to you, Amit Bhai, I would invite also the chairman of JD Center of Art to say a few words as you share a very old and a close friendship.
Hello, Amit Bhai, Amit Ambalal.
Hello.
Welcome to the JD Center of Art function.
Thank you.
And normally we used to have it in Bhubaneswar in a little room where there were 10, 20, 50 people used to come. Since it's online, many people are looking at it all over the world and in India. There have been many programs online, so sometimes it's overlapping. Amit Ambalal is a very dear friend and has an extraordinary sense of humor. I was in Ahmedabad recently where his son, as a photographer, has mapped the journey of Gandhiji and fantastic photographs where Gandhiji went and nobody has cared and there are wild bushes and the rooms are empty. So Amit Ambalal lives in Ahmedabad, and I was in Ahmedabad recently for a show, and I visited his house, and he has collected extraordinary works, including Tagore and Amarendranath and Jamini Roy and Ramkinkar Bej, etc. He is one of the few artists who has enriched himself with the soil of this country. And I personally think he's very lucky to be in Gujarat and Rajasthan. And I think the entire country has gold mine. And I wonder sometimes how contemporary artists are looking at the West for inspiration. Of course, we get inspiration from everything in the world. So Amit Ambalal, his works have freedom, totally unwesternized and rooted to the soil and very free. And I think he has imbibed a lot from our culture, our tradition of painting. But he is a free soul. And he has fantastic sense of humor, which also appears in his paintings. So I am painfully trying to set up the JD Center of Art. And it's for 60 years, I've collected little objects from not only in India and Orissa, but from China, Japan, Egypt, Africa, etc. And various traditional objects. Although I'm a contemporary artist, I have a lot of respect for tradition, whether it's music or painting or architecture or temples. So those have been donated to the Art Center, and hence the Art Center, because I'm originally from Orissa. And my elder son, Siddhartha, is now looking after the whole thing. He's a designer from NID. And I invite warmly my friend Amit Ambalal to speak. Please.
Thank you. So I can just start showing the paintings, and I'll comment wherever necessary. But Nathadwara painting has a special kind of a place in my heart, I would say. So now I start. This is the town of Nathadwara, some 45 kilometers north of Udaipur in Rajasthan. Here, Srinathji, the tutelary deity of the Pushti Marg sect, is enshrined in a palatial Haveli. Earlier, this was a tiny hamlet of Sinhad, inhabited by a few tribals. But when the image of Srinathji was brought to Nathadwara in 1672, the town was renamed as Nathadwara, Portal of the Lord, and it started flourishing. Next. Next slide, please. This is the Krishna image of Srinathji. Srinathji means Lord of Shri, the goddess of prosperity and wealth. This is an image which is around 1.37 meters in height, and it is in dark stone in a deep relief work. Here, Srinathji is shown with his left hand raised in the posture of holding Mount Govardhana, which he did to protect the Vrajavasis from the wrath of Indra, who unleashed the rains and storm over the Vrajavasis. Here, his right hand is on the waist. He is always shown in a lighter mood, in a dancing mood. Here, his eyes, many people ask me about the eyes. These dagger-shaped animal eyes are placed on his face in such a way that they appear to look down, showering pushti, that is grace, on those who seek shelter at his feet. Here, Srinathji's crown has peacock feathers and his skirt more kachni. It is like unfurled feathers of a peacock. There are many paintings where Krishna is shown dancing with peacock, sometimes dancing as peacock. Here also the Goswamis have dressed and adorned him in such a way that he appears as if he is dancing as a peacock. Next, please. This narrative painting is the story about the discovery of the image of Srinathji. Vallabhacharya, the founder of the sect of Pushti Marga, in 1493, while he was on a pilgrimage, he heard a divine voice which asked him to come to Vraj and said to him that that is where he has revealed himself. On this instructions, Vallabhacharya came to Vraj. Vraj is an area around Mathura. at the place near the Mount Govardhana, at the village of Anyor. The village chieftain Sadhu Pandey received Vallabhacharya and his group of devotees, where he explained to them the story about the image. They said that one certain cow was pouring milk from her udders at a certain cleft in this mountain. The curious cowherds removed the boulders only to find a little cave where a very handsome, sweet boy was there, who said that his name was Devdaman. And the villagers knew that this is the same boy in the era gone by had saved the people of Braj by lifting this mountain. So Vallabhacharya climbs up the mountain, where the boy rushes to him and embraces him. Vallabhacharya named him Gopalji, and he was installed in a tiny shrine. Here there is as Srinathji is considered as a Swarupa, not an image. So there is always a kind of a confusion whether he was a real boy or an image. See the mountain, treatment of the mountain, so much closer to those Persian paintings. This painting is around 1840. Next, please. Around 1500 CE, it was decided to make a big temple, and one Puranmal from Ambala donated for the construction of the temple. Here we see the kind of an opening ceremony of the temple. We see Vallabhacharya on the left. And as a kind of a special grace, Vallabhacharya permits Lakshmana, this donor, to apply fragrant paste on Srinathji. This painting is in a manuscript which is dated 1702. Thus, Vallabhacharya's son and successor, Vithalnathji, who was himself a poet, painter, and musician, he devised this seva of Srinathji in a most lyrical way, I would say. The seva of Raga, Bhoga, and Shringar. Raga is music and poetry, Bhoga is sumptuous foods, and Shringar is adornment and all decorations. This seva continued in such a splendor till the time of Aurangzeb, when this Mughal monarchs started plundering and destroying the Hindu temples in North India. The Goswami decided to shift the image to a safer place. At that time, when I say Goswami, he is a descendant of Vallabhacharya. He was this Damodarji. He was at that time 16 years of age. So they hid the image in a bullock cart and proceeding towards Rajasthan. And ultimately, within 2 years, they started in 1670 and they reached Rajasthan in 1672 at this village of Sinhad, where Raja Raj Singh of Mewar gave asylum to the image, and this place was given, which was then named Nathadwara, or the portal of the Lord. Next. Next, please. So, Srinathji lives in Nathadwara as he lived in Braja in his childhood, in the house of Nandarai. That is why this Haveli is known as Nandalaya, the house of Nanda. This palace-like Haveli is kind of so many symbolic meanings are given to each and every place in this Haveli to evoke the feeling that Krishna is in Braj. Even the gate of the Haveli is named as Lal Darwaja. Lal is the fondled child, Krishna, of Yashoda. Even the tiny rivulet of Banas is considered as river Yamuna, and the little hills around are seen as the hills of Braja. Next, please. There is a big demand for paintings. There was, I would say, and still it continues, paintings of the icon of Srinathji. Pichwa is a very special feature of the Pushti Marg Seva. Pichwa is the backdrop to the image of the deity, and it sort of explains the event of the day or the mood of the deity or a particular lila of Krishna suitable to that particular day. There are around 100 artists actively working at Nathdwara in this narrow street, which is fully inhabited by the artists, Chitrakaro Ki Gali. Next. Next, please. There are big shops of paintings in the bazaar which sell paintings. Some fortunate artists have their own shops where they work and sell. Next, please. Now just to get into this culture of Pushti Marg, we'll have to have a look at the daily routine of Srinathji. Daily there are 8 darshans. This is the first darshan of the day, that is Mangala, when the Lord is awakened. On the left side is the actual darshan. This is summer, so the image is very lightly dressed. In the other areas, the images are given to make people imagine what is happening during this darshan. As this is the Bal Bhav, which is prominent, here we see Vallabhacharya with a feeling of a mother is very tenderly awaking the child, Krishna. At the bottom, women are awaiting for him to come and perform aarti to the deity. His friends are waiting for him to come and play with them. There is this partly open door on the right side bottom. The door, these doors are compared as a pupil of Radha's eye, which always has the image of Krishna within them. Next, please. Here, this is also the first darshan of Mangala in winter. This is why a quilt gaddal is, quilted coat is put on Srinathji. There is that sigdi or angithi to keep it at the bottom, to keep the atmosphere warm. The Goswami wearing a similar coat is Damodarji, the person who brought the image from Raja to Nathdwara when he was only 16 years of age. This painting can be dated up to around 1750 or so. Next, please. Then the next darshan of the day is Shringar, when Srinathji is adorned and fully dressed for the day. Here, after adorning Srinathji, the priest shows him the mirror to satisfy him how well dressed he is. This mirror is also considered as Radha, as the image of Srinathji always is reflected in it. Next, please. Then the third darshan is Gwal, when he takes his cows to pasture. all the darshans have two kind of feelings. Srinathji as a child and Srinathji as a boy or a lover. Here on the left side, we see the actual darshan, and now what he is doing during the Gwal time. When he takes his cow to the pastures, he's seen dancing with the peacock. He's seen playing hide and seek with the cowherds. He's also seen making friends with his monkeys and entering into the houses of the Braj people and stealing their butter. This painting is around 1830s. Next, please. This is Rajbhog, the main meal of the day, which is the most important darshan of the day. Here we see Srinathji on the right are shown Nandaraj and Yashoda expressing their Balabhav. On the left, one gopi is offering food to Srinathji in Madhurya Bhav. Aarti is being performed and the musicians play the appropriate music at the bottom. This painting is also around 1830. Next, please. This is a darshan which is in the evening. It is Sandhya Aarti, when Krishna returns with his cows at dusk time. And Yashoda, his mother, welcomes him with the waving of the lamp Aarti. On the left, Nandaraj is waiting for the sun to come. Cowherd is informing Nandaraj, giving him the news that he has come. This is a late Pichwai, almost around late 19th century, but it is, the imagery is derived from Kishangarh painting and a Pichwai. This is the last darshan of the day is Shayan, when Krishna goes to sleep. But before that, a priest goes on the terrace and gives a loud call to the cook and asks him to come next day early. The child hearing this knows that the next day's arrangements are made and has satisfied. He now goes to sleep. Next. Next, please. Now, after going through the background of this whole culture, we come to the painting proper. I will show them in a rather chronological order. This is the time of Tilkayat Govardhaneshji. He was born in 1706. All the paintings, earliest paintings that I have come across are at the most done during the time of Govardhaneshji. Earlier paintings I have not yet come to see. This Govardhaneshji was a kind of a connoisseur of arts. He was a poet also. Here we see Govardhaneshji on the left. This is the day of spring festival of Holi. He and his younger brother on the right have their dress smeared with gulal. Both are sprinkling gulal on Srinathji and also on the Pichwai at the back. The children of the house are also watching this delightful scene. This Govardhaneshji, after he became Tilkayat, he celebrated his first birthday as Hardi Utsav, where numerous chandeliers and mirrors were placed in the Haveli of Srinathji. And the most important thing is this, that on that day, he displayed a painted Pichwai, which showed Krishna taking his cows to pastures. This is the first reference to a painted Pichwai. And it is likely that the painted Pichwai tradition started from this time. Before there were Pichwais of brocade, silk, embroidery, but the painted Pichwai is revered for the first time. In 1747, he assembled 7 important images of Pushtimarg at Nathdwara. This was a big occasion. And at that time, all the princes of Rajasthan had gathered. The cost of this thing was borne by Durjan Sal of Kota. I think at that time, Bahadur Singh of Kishongarh must have offered a Pichwai painted by a Kishangarh artist, because a Pichwai specifically made for Srinathji and of this period is in a private collection of a foreigner, which I have seen. So it seems that certain kind of a sort of a sophistication came after this Pichwai was seen by the artists. Next, please. This I would say, delightful, vigorous painting, almost of the same period, a little later, around 1760 or 70. This shows the festival of Nanda Mahotsav, the festivities that took place at the house of Nandarai on the next day of Janmashtami, or the Krishna's birth. Here we see it is being celebrated in the Haveli of Dwarkadish at Kakroli, a nearby town from Nathdwara. Here we see the image of Dwarkadish in the cradle, which is rocked by Nandarai and Yashoda. These are the priests who are dressed as Nandarai and Yashoda. On the right side, 2 identical looking Goswamis, or the chief of the temple, are Vithalnathji and Gopal Lalji. They look so identical that there are numerous humorous stories, because of the errors that took place because of their similarity. At the lower part, we see some Goswamis and the temple servants who are dressed as gopis and goals of Vraja. They dance in a circle, putting their hands on each other's shoulder. Milk and butter, everything is sprinkled in a kind of a rejoicing. Next. Govardhaneshji was succeeded by his younger brother, Govindji. Here we see Govindji pouring fragrant water from a conch on Srinathji on the festival day of Snan Yatra. Here, the noteworthy feature is this, that the artist has tried to explain to us that Srinathji is not an image, but a living deity, a Swarupa. That's why he has painted the figure of Srinathji blue color of Krishna, while the stele, which is still of the same stone, but it is painted as if it's the stone. This painting also shows that as Govindji worshipped Srinathji in Balabhava as a child, so Srinathji is seen as a plumpish little child. Next, please. This Pichwai, a large Pichwai, almost 8 feet by 7 feet, is almost of the same time, late 18th century. This Pichwai is meant to be displayed on the festival day of Gopashtami, which commemorates the day when Krishna became a full-fledged cowherd. This pitchway shows Krishna dancing, and all the cows and calves are joyously dancing to his rhythm and tunes. Even some birds on the Kadamba tree watch this divine sight. And this is quite an unusual pitchway in the sense there is so much life in this cows and the dancing posture of Krishna that I consider it as a masterpiece. The blank portion which is shown on the bottom is meant for the Sinhasana of the deity or the throne of the deity. Next, please. This is again a pitchway meant for the festival day of Dana Leela. This large, about 12 feet by 8 feet pitchway, shows the episode of Dana Leela, according to which gopis who were passing through the territory of Krishna to sell their wares of milk and butter were stopped by Krishna and his cowherd friends, and they asked for the toll tax, dan of milk and butter. A great argument took place, and ultimately Krishna won. I mean, they did loot their gopis. This pitchway is the work of a Jaipur painter. It is of the time of Savai Madhav Singh, who was a devotee of the Pushti Marga sect, devotee of Krishna. He had a haveli or a shrine in his palace, and he also performed Ras Leela with his group of Kathak dancers to entertain Krishna. This pitchway seems to have come from the same place. Next. This is the detail from the pitchway. Here we see Radha arguing with Krishna. Next. This beautiful painting is done in the year 1773. It was in this year that the princes of Rajasthan, like Hari Singh of Mewar, Bahadur Singh of Kishangarh, Vijay Singh of Mewar, and also the king of Bikaner, had gathered at Nathadwara, and they had requested this Goswami, Govindji, to work as an arbitrator and solve the dispute between Vijay Singh of Jodhpur and Rana of Mewar, Hari Singh. They had a dispute over a certain land. So this painting is of that time. Here we see, because it's a summer day, Govindji and his son Girdharji, who is seen on the right, are holding fans. Srinathji is lightly dressed. Vijay Singh of Jodhpur is seen on the left. There is a tray with a boat in it. It is known as Jamuna Ji Ka Thar, or the tray symbolizing river Yamuna, where Krishna used to spend most of his time in the summer. A little fountain is placed in front, and the temple servants sprinkle water to cool the atmosphere. On the top, there is a fan which is managed by the string, which tries to keep the atmosphere cool. This entire color scheme is white, and which really highlights the black of Srinathji. See, there is a lotus garland on Srinathji. It has a great significance in Pushti Marga because lotus is a symbol of Radha's heart, which Krishna would love to keep nearest to him in the form of a garland. Next. Now we come to the period of Damodar Lalji or Daoji II. I think he was born in around 1800. He was a great patron of music, a very imaginative and dynamic Tilkayat. Here he is shown performing Aarti to Srinathji. He looked or he saw Srinathji or he worshipped Srinathji with the feeling of a beloved. So then we see Srinathji as a young man, not the plumpish child as we had seen him earlier. This is the festival day of Sharad Purnima, the most important festival of Pushti Marga. A Pichwai is shown behind Srinathji, which shows group of gopis on either side of Srinathji holding each other's hands, and their hands are so arranged with that of Srinathji that it appears that they are holding hands with Srinathji in a ras. Daoji's personality was so impressive that Colonel Todd, in his famous Annals and Antiquity of Rajasthan, he has described Govardhan Lalji, Damodar Lalji's personality at great length. As Damodar Lalji had arranged a Sapta Swarupotsav on large scale and offered a Chappan Bhog, a festival of food, to Srinathji, he was popularly known since then as Daoji Chappan Bhog Wale. During his time, art reached a zenith, a very refinement which can be compared to the art of Kota. There are many reasons for that also. Anyway, next. This charming painting is known as Chandrama Ka Shringar. Moon and moonlight forms the basic theme for this Shringar, which was organized and arranged by Goswami Girdharji of Kashi, Banaras, who is shown performing Aarti on the left side. He had tried to recreate a story according to which Krishna in his childhood once insisted upon Mother Yashoda to show him the full moon, though it was a new moon night. So Yashoda, to convince him, dressed him in silver brocaded garments and moon-shaped ornaments. And delighted, she sang, I would say, "Come, O my moon of Gokul, come." This Girdharji, a most learned, pious Goswami, who was a contemporary of Daoji, almost of the same age, and closely related to Daoji, has draped his shawl like a sari to express his Vatsalya Bhav, to express that his feelings are that of Yashoda. In the background, dark blue pitchway is there with a tiny crescent-shaped new moon is suspended on the top. On the right, a priest is holding a morchal, a peacock feather disc, to protect Srinathji from the evil eye, nazar of outsiders. Next. Here we see Daoji seated in a pavilion on the terrace of Gangor Ghat. Gangor is a popular Rajasthani festival, women's festival, I would say, dedicated to Gauri, the consort of Shiva. Here we see Daoji watching the procession of Gangor, where women are carrying the image of Gauri and they are dancing Gomar and moving merrily. All the women are seen in tie and dye sari, and men are wearing tie and dye turbans. As this is the first day of Gangor, which is Chunri Gangor. On this day, all the women wear this tie and dye saris, and men wears this tie and dye turbans. Even Srinathji is also made to participate like that. Then there is Hari Gangor, when color green dominates. Like in Gulabi Gangor, everything is pink. Even Srinathji wears pink clothes. The songs that are sung are in praise of pink. His ornaments are pink enamel. Even the food that is served to him, like halwa and kachli, are made from pink rose petals. Next. Daoji on a horseback. He looks like any other princess of Rajasthan. He did have that kind of stature also in Rajasthan. Even Colonel Todd, in his famous Annals and Antiquities of Rajasthan, has spoken in high words about Daoji's horses. Here in Daoji's time, we see the effect of Kota style in a big way. As Kishore Singh of Kota was very closely connected to Daoji, as Daoji was his guru. And he had also, Kishore Singh had called Nathadwara painters to do paintings in his palace. There is a painting of Daoji in a procession on an elephant at Kota. And even Kota artists were invited to Nathadwara. So at some stages, one cannot make out whether this painting is from Kota or Nathadwara. Next. This is the image of Balram. The actual image is in a Haveli near Mathura at a place called Daoji. Balram is Krishna's brother, as he was considered as the incarnation of Shesha, or the great cosmic serpent. The hood of many-headed serpent is seen at the back of Balram, almost as a nimbus. As Balram is considered as a god of agriculture, a plow is placed near him. On the right is his wife, Revati. Balram is fond of opium, so in his left hand, he's holding a cup of bhang, opium. The devotees, when they visit this temple, it is expected that they offer bhang to the temple for Balram, and he is dancing joyously with his right hand raised. Many times, such paintings are considered as Srinathji with his right hand raised. This beautiful painting is also around 1830 or so. Next. Again, a highly refined painting, almost of a Kota sophistication, is of Dashera, the day when Rama's victory over Ravana. So a shield and a sword is placed on the floor at the bottom. Srinathji is richly dressed in Girdhar Bhaga. The Pichwai shows a tree of life motif. But this day has also another significance also. This is the birthday of Murlidhar, the grandson of Goswami Vittalnathji. Murlidhar was in the court of Akbar as a courtier. As once, when Akbar was lost during hunt and most thirsty at that time, Murlidhar brought him water. And so, Akbar used to call him Marfate Khuda, or God sent. He was able to bring many imperial farmans for the Haveli of Srinathji, and also many elements of the Mughal court in the Nathdwara Seva. Here, this whole setting, Mughal setting, is also in memory of Murlidhar, who had adopted the Mughal way of life. On the left side, we see women of the house sitting in veil. On the right are the temple priests. Next, please. This is the first day of the New Year. It is also the day when Krishna offered Chappan Bhog or feast to Mount Govardhana and not to Indra. So in the courtyard of Govardhan Chowk, a symbolic mountain is created and decorated. It's created out of cow dung. The cows from the Gaushala are brought here and they are played with. There are red kumkum hand marks on the cows, which symbolizes Krishna's protection, and the red of the kumkum is considered as a red of anurag or love of Krishna. On the back is Suraj pole, or the main entrance to the shrine, and the image of child Krishna Navnit Priyaji is brought in a palanquin and is arranged near the gate. This painting is also of the Daoji period. We see Daoji performing Aarti. This is at the same time around 1820 or so. Next. Sharad Purnima. Here, Radha and Krishna are sitting on the terrace. Everything white. Everything is shimmering in moonlight. A poem written on the back of the painting describes the beauty of white. Here, flowers and foods, everything that is displayed around Radha and Krishna are all white. There is a mirror near them so that the reflection of the moon would bring the moon closer to them, as if moon is also participating with them in a party. Actually, in the temple, in the night, they arrange a bichat in the Kamal Chowk, where they arrange a similar kind of a setting where white kind of carpets and bolsters are arranged, foods and beverages are all white. So this here also is the same thing is expressed by the Nathadwara artist. Next. Next, please. This is one of the finest example of Pichwai of Daoji's period. Here we see Srinathji with either side of, with gopis on either side. In the border, we see different places of Braj shown. Next, please. This is the detail from the same Pichwai. It shows the refinement of the Kota school. Next, please. This is also Ras Leela, Krishna's circular dance with the gopis. It symbolizes the meeting of the individual soul with Paramatma, the divine. In Rasa Panchadhyay, Vallabhacharya describes this thing when gods came with their wives in their celestial chariots to see this sight. The women of the gods wanted to join with the Krishna in Ras. But Krishna said, no, you remain there, so that the entire site would look like a painting. That's what the painter has expressed. Next. These are the Goswami brothers from Mathura. On the left is Vithalnaji, on the right is Purushottamji. Quite many Goswamis would come and stay for quite a few days at Nathadwara and perform Manoraths. Manorath is something like fulfilling their cherished desire to dress Srinathji in a particular way. So that's why they are here. Here they are sitting on the terrace with their children on their laps. They have come here to perform various Manoraths. Let us go next. Here on the left is Vithalnathji, and they are performing a Manorath of Holi. We see Srinathji with the background of white Pichwai, totally smeared with the dabs of Gulal. Next. Next, please. Here they have performed. Now these children have grown little older. They must have come after a few years. They have performed Sehra Ka Manorath, where Srinathji is seen as a bridegroom with the Sehra crown on his head. Very refined painting. Next. Here they have, this is a full Mandlika Manorath, where a kind of a pavilion of pink roses is created around Srinathji. Yes. This beautiful painting shows actually rain. Rains is a very popular subject with Nathdwara painters because rain brings Radha and Krishna closer. Actually, see in this at the bottom, this green, which is a very favorite color for the Nathdwara artist because green is very symbolic as it is made from the combination of blue and yellow, where blue is Krishna and yellow is the golden hue of Radha. So green is the meeting of Radha and Krishna. Here in this painting, Krishna is coming back in the dusk with his cows. There is thunder and rains. Radha, who is out in the forest to collect flowers for the Sanji, sees Krishna and asks him to have mercy on her and give shelter to her in his blanket and save her sparkling chunri from getting wet. This subject is depicted in Pichwai also and is displayed in the temple on the festival of Thakurana Tej dedicated to Radha. Next. Now we come to the period of Girdhari Ji. That is around 1850 and 60. This person, Girdhari Ji, who is seen performing arti to Srinathji on his own birthday, was a man of very independent nature, little harsh in his language. He would sort of sit in the balcony of his palace Moti Mahal and give justice. Those who argued the penalty or the punishment was doubled. At one stage in the 70s, he decided to make Nathdwara independent of Mewar. This rather enraged the British, and they forced him to leave Nathdwara in exile. That happened in 1876. The art during his time was quite getting more and more refined and more skillful, but that creativity was little questionable. Next, please. We see Girdhari Ji as a family man with his wife and children. He has draped his shawl like a sari as he identified himself with Radha in Madhurya Bhav. Next, please. This highly skilled painting shows Radha and Krishna with the other gopis on a ghat of Yamuna to go the boat ride. The important factor for this in this painting is this, that Radha is shown with the face of Girdhari Ji. And I'm sure this must have been commissioned by Girdhari Ji himself. Next. As Girdhari Ji was exiled in 1670, in 1876, his son, Govardhan Lal Ji, who was only 16 years of age at his time, was made the Tilkayat. Here we see his photograph in the same year. Though he was young, within a short while he took the reins of the Nathadwara temple in a big way. Being a connoisseur of music, arts, he was able to take a grip in the Shringar of Srinathji also. Next, please. Here we see the work by the chief artist of Nathadwara of Govardhan Lal Ji's court, Sukhdev Kishan Lal. He has depicted the day of Govardhan Lal Ji's birthday. He is dressed in orange because of the birthday. He has placed Srinathji in the Bangla of mirrors and gold and silver. Srinathji is dressed in Mallakach and Tipara, a dress worn by the wrestlers. As Govardhan Lal Ji was so much fond of wrestling that he had opened several akhadas in Nathadwara, and naturally he would like to see his lord as a wrestler. Next. This painting, dated 1883, is also by Sukhdev. This particular day is very much minutely documented by Sukhdev. This is the day of the solar eclipse. We see solar eclipse taking place in the sky above. The musicians play the music. We see a Goswami initiating 3 children Goswamis with the Gopal mantra. We see Govardhan Lal Ji on the left. This is quite a beautiful painting. Next, please. Here, the image, tiny Krishna image of Navneet Priyaji is taken in a palanquin. They have come out from the palace of the Tilkayats of Lal Bagh, and they are proceeding towards the place of the festival. It's a holy day, and gulal is sprinkled over all. Next. This painting by Champalal Hiralal, the chief painter of Mota Mandir of Mumbai. This is dated 1915. This painting shows a Manorath of Saji. Saji is the floor decoration, flower decoration on the floor. The patron or the donor for this painting and for this Manorath was a rich lady, rich widow from Mumbai, Mantubai, who is seen at the bottom. This is image of Navneet Priyaji is placed in a hatadi of mirrors. The entire floor is decorated with flowers in the pattern of river Yamuna. 2 large lotuses are also designed. At the back, there are 2 large pichwais. There are wooden dolls dressed as gopis with baskets of flower on their head, as they have come to do Saji. Govardhan Lal Ji, who is seen now as an old man, is on the right. On the left is his son Damodar Lal, who was a very imaginative person and had contributed many pitchwise to the Nathdwara temple. Unfortunately, he fell in love with a singer and had to leave Nathdwara at a later stage. Next. Detail from the same painting. We see Mantubai in the center with other devotees and family. This was a typical characteristics of Champalal Hiralal, where he was able to show crowds in front of the image. Next, please. This is Yamuna Dashmi. We see the temple in its total perspective. The festival dedicated to river Yamuna. The entire temple is filled with water. Toy ducks and fishes and boats are set afloat in it. Lotuses are set there, and the Goswamis swim and play frolic in it to express that Krishna, they are having fun with Krishna in river Yamuna. Next. This is the detail from the same painting. On this occasion, others from Dhir Samire, Yamuna Tire, Vasati Vane Mali, sung from Geet Govinda by. Next. Early morning, Mangala in the shrine of Navnit Priyaji. We see the effect of photography. The time has passed. The gray and red. I think this is a very beautiful painting by Sukhdev. Next. Paanch Swarup Ka Mahotsav performed by Govardhan Lal Ji in 1908. All the 5 important Swarupas are seen. This is a Pichwai painted again by Sukhdev. On the left, we see Fateh Singh of Mewar. On the right are all the invited Goswamis. The Pichwai shows a kind of a brocade with a design of the cows in it. Next. This is the last painting of our series. This beautiful painting of a Pichwai, about 5 feet, is displayed during the time of summer. Srinathji or Krishna is expected to spend most of his time in Yamuna. So Yamuna is shown with lotuses in it. In the center is Gokul Chandramaji playing flute under a canopy or under a pavilion of pink roses. Bees fluttering from lotus to lotus reminds us of the poems by the Ashtachap poets, where they consider or depict Krishna as a bee and lotuses as the gopis. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. That's lovely.
You liked it?
Very much. You could have shown also some of your paintings. At the
Maybe
beginning,
next time.
the beginning or at the end.
Thank you, Amit Bhai. I think a lot of people, like I said before we started, that a lot of people would not have known about your whole collection and your interest in Nathdwara Pichwais. Because your work is, even though there is inspiration, your work is so different. And you're a senior artist of the country. So I think that whole, insight has been very exciting. And I think a lot of people, I don't know if they know that you've also authored books on it. So would you like to say something about the book you wrote and when did you write it and a little bit about it?
Yeah, actually, it's actually in to 70s, 60s and 70s, I was little confused about art in our country, I felt that we are Francis Bacon or Picasso or Bernard Buffet, and I was searching for a language which is rooted and which would suit my temperament. At that time, when I saw this, a bunch of Nathadwara paintings came to me. A dealer brought them, and I thought that this is something which I can really enjoy looking at it. This is something which is very playful, something that is very colorful. And it really inspired me in some way. Actually, to adapt from that is not the right thing for me. But somehow it is always in my background. But when I work, how a Nathadwara painter solved a certain problem, kind of. So in that way, it helps. It comes as a help to me. But by that time, I fell in love with these Nathadwara paintings and started collecting gradually more and more. And then I would go to some Goswamis, some devotees, and ask them, what is this about? And I felt that there is some kind of a surrealistic sort of a meaning and imagery in these paintings. So when Robert Skelton of V&A, Victoria and Albert Museum, had come here, and I was talking to him and showing to him these paintings, he said, why don't you write? That's what even Carrie Welch also said to me. And I started writing, started collecting the missing links. And I think there was some help from above, maybe from Srinathji, that whatever I wanted came to me next day. And I was never an author. I was never kind of had a language command. Somehow it happened and it resulted in a book. That's all you can say.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good things always happens naturally.
I feel so. Now I'm convinced.
I also open this up. If there are any questions anyone wants to ask, please just switch on a video and please go ahead and ask. And in case you don't, then I'm going to ask some questions also. But I'll give it a few seconds and just see if there are any questions. There are a few appreciative comments, but I'm just waiting for a question. There's one question which has been asked by Varsha Das, which is about, it says, this is an extremely interesting talk. Do you want to say it or shall I say it? Yeah. She's my mother also. Let's just do that.
Okay. Yeah. It is a very, very interesting talk, and very unusual details were given, not only of the paintings, but also of the history behind it, which is so unusual. I mean, I've heard this for the first time.
Oh.
Yeah. And but my one little question was, you spoke about Srinathji's eyes, the pupils.
Yes.
But in some of the paintings, they were in the center also. So what does that mean?
That's what confuses me also, because in some paintings, the eye is shown as a regular eye, which we see in our, but actually on Srinathji, these dagger-shaped eyes. So it must be by chance that someone has painted like that. Otherwise, 99.99%, the eyes are shown as looking down, dagger-shaped.
And what is the reason behind that, looking down?
The eyes are sort of arranged as if they are looking down, kind of a showering grace. That is the theme of this whole sect, Pushti.
Pushti, yeah.
On those who take shelter or refuge at his feet. So his showering grace on those who are at his feet.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
There is a question from Keyur Shah. Keyur Shah, would you like to ask yourself? Hello, Keyur, would you like to ask yourself? I'm going to read out the question in case Keyur is able to ask, then I will stop. Is there any significance between season, Ritu, and Pichwai compositions and color schemes? Is the question.
See,
Sorry.
actually, season has a lot to do with color. Suppose in winter, Srinathjis also wear very colorful, brightly colored dresses. The Pichwais, even if they are not painted, those are of bright brocades and colors. But in summer, the preference for white is quite prominent. While in the rains, color green dominates, even in Pichwais. And most of the Pichwais are used during the monsoon season, and there the green dominates. Or during the Sharat Purnima, the blue of the sky and the shimmering white of the stars and the moon are most dominant. So that's so. There is no rigid kind of a design for that.
There's another question from Keyur Shah. Are there any rituals to follow before starting each Pichwai painting, and also before discarding damaged or old Pichwais?
I'm not fully aware of rituals before starting the Pichwai, because whatever I've observed at Nathdwara these days, I don't think there is much of a ritual. There might be at an early stage, like in our tradition, they have a lot of ritual before starting the work of religious objects. But usually the Pichwais are immersed in water. That's what I have heard, but not seen. So I would confess my ignorance for this.
There's another question. Are there any Pichwai compositions or traditions which require revival?
Which require?
Revival.
See, even in Nathdwara, revival took place during the time of illustrious Goswamis, like in the time of Govardhanesh Ji or Daud Ji or Govardhan Lal Ji. So there are always possibility of the revival, and revival is necessary now, because how to meet with the present times. During Govardhan Lal's time, that is early 20th century and late 19th century, there was the arrival of photography. There was kind of this company period paintings, and so the Nathdwara painters adopted that style. They remained with the time. So here at this moment, it is required to be with time, but there is a confusion. It will take some time.
Are there any other questions that anyone would like to ask Amit Bhai? I can see quite a few seems to love the paintings and to having gotten the insight from you. So I can see a lot of comments, but there's one more question from Shri. Would Shri like to ask? Would you like to ask, Shri? Otherwise, I'm going to just ask it. On what canvases are the paintings made up of, and which types of brushes are used locally?
Actually, up till now, they were the paper that they used was kind of a handmade paper. They highly polished it but now it is a market available paper. Brushes, they use squirrel hair brushes. Now, still they use squirrel hair brushes, but we get now good brushes in the market, so they can use those things. The canvas or the Pichwai is made now from the mill-made cloth, linens. Earlier, it was a little rough cloth. Oil on canvas is not a very prominent thing these days, even these days. A few artists do painting on canvas in oils, but it's not a prevalent thing in Nathdwara.
Yeah, and are there any influences on your work, Amit Bhai, that the Pitchways have had, and what was your work before that you felt and after?
See, this is a very complex question because I was a little confused person at one time between 60s and 70s. I was not very much happy with the art trends that were going on. And it didn't suit my temperament because I felt that this is not rooted, this doesn't belong to me, most of the things. When I saw these paintings, I thought that, see, the colors, the composition, so simple. And not that kind of a very complex kind of a philosophy is expressed in such a lighter way. Like the idea of Leela, they say that everything is kind of a cosmic play, Leela of Krishna or the divine, where all, not only humans, but birds, animals, trees, mountains, rivers, all are equal participants, all have equal part to play in this Leela. And that's why in the paintings, you see all these elements are given equal status, equal importance. So I like that concept of Leela. It kind of allows a certain kind of a playfulness in one's work. So I think that idea, and there is some kind of humor in Nathdwara painting also. So in that way, I'm certainly affected by Nathdwara paintings. And these cows or monkeys and peacocks, they very frequently enter into my paintings. Well, they enter into my studio also because all around there are trees where there are many monkeys which break my tiles of the roof. So these things come from my garden as well as from Nathdwara.
Good, wonderful. Thank you. There'll be no end to this. And one can spend the entire evening and the night discussing with you. And I saw your lovely Haveli that you have erected, reconstructed from a traditional home. And wonderful. And your work should be discussed another time.
Certainly, I'll be most happy.
And we hope that when GDC opens, hopefully, God willing, in a year's time, I hope that you will come and visit us and see the collection, but also hopefully do something over there.
I would love to come. Thank you.
And also to donate one work to the Art Center. Commit it now in public.
I commit.
Thank you, Amit Bhai. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was my pleasure to show these images.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.